Picture the scenario this way. Let's say I, as a father, I want my child to be instructed about fishing, like I was when I grew up. And when they're really young, I find a place that offers fishing instruction every Saturday morning for about an hour, maybe two. And I think, great, I'll take my child, my family, my wife and I, we take our kid, and we attend this fishing instruction. Mind you, we don't really ever go out and fish at a lake. It's just being proclaimed to us. We're informed about it. And then as my child gets a little bit older, I want more intense instructions for fishing, because I really think it's important that my child, at least in conversation with my wife, we think it's important that my child learns about fishing. So I enrolled him in this unique school, fish school. And they learn about all different things in life, but it's all in the context of the importance of fishing. And again, mind you, they don't really go out and fish. They just, throughout the day, have instructions from amazing fishing textbooks about fishing. And they do that for about 18 years. And what I love about this fish school is they encourage, again, every weekend, Saturday morning for an hour or two, we can engage as a family and continue to be instructed about fishing. So I'm kind of checking off the boxes. I'm doing what I feel is good for my child. It's a great school and it's a safe school. And they turn out good people. And they learn a little bit about fishing. Well, in fact, that's their whole emphasis. So that's really cool because that's how I was raised. So fast forward a number of years, a year or two after they graduate from fishing school at age 18. So they're about 20. And they go off to pursue their own passions. And they've got their own hobbies and their own life, and we're excited about it. It's interesting, by the way. Even though they went to a fishing school, turns out they don't have much desire to actually fish. Kind of like their dad. I didn't really end up fishing either, but what I loved was watching football and talking about football, because that's kind of what my dad did with his spare time. And that's what we did with my family and my child and my wife. We were all about football and watching the game and so on. And turns out my child ended up becoming more like me and wanted to pursue kind of the family business. So as I reflect upon his upbringing, even though he went to a great fish school, it really was just for that time of life as he was growing up. And I suppose it really wasn't about fishing, but just a good, healthy environment for him to develop in. And then he made his own choice about what he really wanted to be passionate about, kind of like what I did. So my question for you, it's more of a rhetorical one. How effective is that approach for a family that knows fishing is important, but in due time, doesn't really have much to do with fishing? Probably from early on, you saw where that metaphor was going. It really wasn't about fishing, at least that story. It was about the faith, Christ. And this kind of leads to those two discussion questions. As we think about the importance of the home and the influence of the home, homes are not neutral. If we send a child off to a place where they learn a particular discipline, whether it's fishing or the all-essential habit of life and life-giving blessing from God, faith in Christ, if the family doesn't live that out, well, then a child will only conform for a little while. They won't be transformed by that. Children have a way of being like their parents. And ultimately, whatever is lived out in the home, whatever is taught and talked about in the home, that's what forms the child. So here's that first question. What did you notice about the home life in regard to fishing in that story? And how does that explain that fishing doesn't mean much for a child upon leaving home? And honestly, what do you think the chances would be of that child picking up fishing again after they've gone through a period of life where fishing didn't mean much to them and they've already done that? Versus someone who's never fished before but has in their adult life this amazing experience where for one day they fish for a little while. Who's more likely to engage with fishing in their adult life? Again, you see how the home fits into that? It's a tale of two homes now, because the second question, if we were to rewrite this metaphor where the kid's life passion was fishing in adulthood, what would the home life have looked like? How would the school have served as a blessing to make a child so passionate about fishing? So, again, work with that metaphor. Our hope is that as you do and you wrestle with those two exercises, that again we'll see that by God's design, nothing compares to the influence of the home. And the church is there to champion the home, champion you, to encourage you and equip you and assist you as you are most passionate about, well, the one thing needed, Christ and His Word. And what a privilege to impart that in our children, to give that, impart that to them. That's our conversation for this video as we again focus on, really the impact of the home. For our next video, we're going to be talking about just exercising the faith and how important that is. Instead of just being instructed, but how do we live that out and how parents, again, play the most influential role in that. But for now, enjoy those conversations. Be blessed by them. We'll see you in the next video.